Thank you very much, and thank you for listening. I really sort of would like to do the whole of my KPI journey, if that's okay, and say that when I came, I had already published 2 books. I've got too many. Can you?
I'll be your model.
You'll be my desk. Underneath here are my first book, which was called Using Other People's Money. And that was really a project from my coach. I have a slight control issue. I'm a control freak, and this was supposed to be a project to use outsourcers. But then my second problem is that I talk a lot, and so a small outsourcing project that was meant to be about 12 pages and a bit of a practice exercise to sort of use somebody over the internet that I hadn't seen turned into a 60,000 word tome. And what I really did in that, and I liked what you said about KPI, it was an outpouring of everything I learnt. So I started to write all that I'd been doing. What had I been doing? I'd been trying property strategy, so I wrote it all down. And I'd already got that book published, and I was just about to publish my second book. Too much stuff. My second book, which is called Make More Money from Property, and that's where that second level of thought came out, which is about, okay, so I've tried all of the strategies, but this is what I've learnt, and I've learnt more about how to make a business out of property investing. So I already had those before I came along to KPI, and I felt that I had a pretty good pitch. My name's Vicki Wusche. I invest in properties for myself and for clients, and I also teach people how to invest in properties and build a business around that for themselves and for their clients. And I thought that was quite clear about what I did, and I think that is what I did this time last year when I started out. But as we went through that, and I remember in my KPI group, everybody, when we were doing the pitch day, everybody going, oh, you've got a good pitch, you've got a good pitch. I nosedived round about July. And I sort of really lost my way, and I was doing all of this pitching practice. But what was happening is what Dan said, more ideas were coming. And I really understood that although that's my business, so if you want, I'll teach you how to set up a property sourcing business. If you want, I'll help you find where your resources are, and I'll help you invest in cash flowing properties. That's not what it's about. I've always been a university lecturer. That's what I was up until 2006. And so my passion is for teaching, and I think that's where the speaking comes from. And my passion is also for people to be able to do the best that they can or have the best that they can. And I think that we all have that in us. So going back to what Mindy was saying, if any of you think that you might have a book title in you, you might have a book in you and you're shy or reticent in any one way, can I say that if you've got something that you know and that you understand, and you don't either make a video or a book out of it, you're selfish by not sharing that with other people if it could help them. And I don't think anybody in the room would want to be selfish, would you? Okay, so write it down, and if there's any problems, they'll come out in the copy editing and the proofreading process. But you need to share your message. You're in this room because you're all thinking that you've got a potential or are expert in something. That was quite a sentence, wasn't it? I hope you know what I mean. But you must be here. I mean, is there anybody in the room who doesn't think they're expert at something, or that they don't know anything about anything? Right, so if you don't know anything about anything, you'd be at home, or you'd be in a job maybe working in Tesco. So you all know something, and that something is of value, so share that in whatever way is right for you. And that's what came with Property for the Next Generation.
So you're saying you helped to discover your mission?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very much, yes. Yeah. And it was about the mess that we've created. I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel that the recession that we're in, the debt that we're in, the fact that we're all facing all of this, you've got to scale back and everything that's going on, that's our fault. We did that. We either did that by the decisions that we took, or we did that by the decisions that we didn't take. We did it by who we voted for, who we didn't vote for, what we complained about, what we didn't complain about. And who is going to suffer from that? Our children and our grandchildren. And if not your children, then your relatives and your friends' children. And so I wanted to write a book that would start to change the way we think about money and property, because property is for the next generation, and they're going to think about it differently. You don't have to live where you own. You don't have to own where you live. Young people are all into this multi-dexterous thumb thing. They're going to be the global entrepreneurs that Dan's book is going to enable them to be, and they won't need property the way we do. but we can change. I can actually renovate the whole of the UK, give you all a minimum of £1,000 a month more income, house everybody on the social housing list if you'd all join my gang and do what I suggest. So how's that for a world-changing idea?
It's a world-changing idea. So, as someone who was with your normal pitch that you had before, 12 months ago, you weren't getting featured in the Daily Telegraph, but now you've created this, more of a mission-centred pitch or a heart-centred pitch, and suddenly, rather than people going, "Oh, that sounds a bit weird," because you deliver it with such grounded enthusiasm, the media's picked up on it.
They have, yes. Daily Telegraph. I mean, I would say that Property for the Next Generation only was published on the 22nd of November. We did that at the business show. You've got Christmas in the way, which is a bit of a gap, but by January, I'd been interviewed by the Daily Telegraph, and me and Phil Spencer jointly launched the Property Club for the Daily Telegraph. And literally, that came out over that weekend. It went online, there was articles on the Thursday, the Friday, and on the Saturday I was in the paper. Monday morning, I had a call from a Channel 4 production company. So it really does make a difference. Now, I wouldn't have had that call if it hadn't been for the book. But all of this is still airy-fairy, because this isn't going to get me my holidays, all right? And that's what I'm all about. I'm sometimes called the property mermaid because I love to scuba dive and everything, and I get really challenged by you going with the £20 million thing. And when you did your diagram, I'm sort of sitting there quite nicely. I feel I can get in that KPI zone, and I'm quite happy with that. And then you said, oh yes, but if you go beyond £1 million, the people don't have the lifestyle and the holidays. And I'm thinking, £1 million scuba diving, £1 million scuba diving. Yeah, I'm on that line at the moment. I don't know where I want to go. But it's about sales. All of this is great. This costs a lot of money to do. There's audios, there's CDs, there's live webinars. When you come to the product session that will be later on this afternoon, I am a diligent student. I have done everything that Dan and his team has told me to do, and that's why I'm in the Daily Telegraph. But now I'm getting the sales that come through from that. I've asked everybody who has contacted me and come straight in at what I would call my high-level products, straight into the coaching and the mentoring or straight into the sourcing programs, how did you hear about me? Every single one of them said, I was looking for information, I searched for a book on Amazon, your books came up, I read the reviews, and I've searched you out online, so that's the profile part, and now I'm getting in touch with you. My mobile number's on the web, my email's on the web, because what's the point of not putting your phone number up there and not having people phone you? And customers are now coming through in two streams. They're either following the free route, which is great because that gives people a chance to test and taste. Then they stalk me. I have some people that stalk me. They'll come and they'll know about me and they'll come to events where they know that I'm speaking and they'll sit in the audience and then they'll come up quite shyly at the end and speak to me quietly about it. Or there are people that are very clear about what they want and they're out there actively looking, and the books are my soldiers, my avatars, and they're out there doing that for me.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Vicky. Well done.